There are 14 strange things only doggies can see and hear, but you can't. And once you know what they are, a lot of your dog's weird behavior starts making a whole lot more sense. From sounds hiding inside your house, to clues in the dark, to the creepy reason dogs sometimes stare at absolutely nothing. These dog senses are far more powerful than most people realize. And by the end of this video, you might never look at your dog the same way again. Number 14. Dogs can hear tiny sounds inside your house. If your dog suddenly freezes, stares at the wall, or starts barking into the hallway for no clear reason, there is a good chance they are hearing something you cannot. Dogs can pick up tiny sounds inside a house that most people never notice at all. That could be a charger buzzing, pipes ticking, a mouse moving in the wall, a neighbor shutting a car door outside, or even footsteps from much farther away than you would expect. To us, the house seems quiet. To a dog, it can sound full of little hidden noises happening all the time. That is one reason dogs sometimes react in ways that seem strange or dramatic. They are not always overreacting. They may just be responding to a world that sounds much louder and much busier to them than it does to us. And once you start thinking about that, it makes a lot more sense why some dogs seem on edge in certain rooms, or why they suddenly lift their head and listen before you have noticed anything at all. Their ears are picking up clues long before yours do. Number 13. Dogs notice the smallest body movements. Dogs are constantly watching people, and not in a casual way. They notice tiny body movements that most humans would never pick up on. A slight turn of your head, a hand reaching toward the cupboard, the way you shift your shoulders before standing up, or even the way you move when you are about to grab the lead. Your dog can often read what is about to happen before you have even fully done it. That is why dogs sometimes seem almost psychic. They run to the door before you say walk, get excited before you pick up the keys, or suddenly look guilty before you have said a single word. It is not magic. They are just extremely good at reading the little signals you do without realizing it. This also explains why dogs respond so strongly to body language. To them, movement is full of information. The tiniest change in posture can tell them whether you are happy, annoyed, leaving the room, offering food, or about to do something fun. So while you may think your dog is just guessing, they are often reading you like a book. Number 12. Dogs see the world in different colors than you do. A lot of people still think dogs see everything in black and white, but that is not true. Dogs do see color, just not the same range of color that people do. Their world is more limited, with blues, yellows, and shades in between standing out more, while colors like red and green do not look nearly as different to them as they do to us. That means the world your dog sees is real and detailed, but it is not painted the same way yours is. A bright red toy that looks impossible to miss to you may not stand out much at all once it lands in green grass. Meanwhile, a blue or yellow toy can be much easier for your dog to spot. So sometimes when a dog seems to miss something right in front of them, it may not be because they are not paying attention. It may be because it simply does not stand out in their version of the world the way you think it should. It is actually pretty fascinating to think about. Your dog is walking through the same house, the same backyard, and the same park as you, but seeing it all with a different color filter built in. The couch, the floor, the lawn, your clothes, their toys. All of it can look a little different from the way you imagine. And once you know that, it changes how you think about everyday things like choosing toys, throwing a ball, or even wondering why your dog notices one object straight away but ignores another one completely. Before we get into the next one, if you're enjoying the video so far, please give it a like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it so much, and it really helps the channel out. Let's get back into it. Number 11. Dogs can see much better in the dark. If you have ever watched your dog move confidently through a dark room while you are squinting and trying not to walk into furniture, there is a reason for that. Dogs are built to see much better than we can in low light. Their eyes have more of the cells that help detect movement and light in dim conditions, and they also have a reflective layer behind the retina that helps them make the most of whatever light is available. That is why your dog can seem completely comfortable outside at dusk, in a dark hallway, or in the backyard at night when you can barely make out what is there. They are not seeing in total darkness like some kind of superhero, but they are getting far more useful information out of low light than you are. Shapes, movement, and motion stand out to them much more easily, which is a huge advantage when the sun goes down. It also helps explain why dogs sometimes react to things at night before you do. They may notice a person moving, an animal crossing the yard, or something shifting in the distance while you are still trying to work out whether you even saw anything at all. To your dog, the nighttime world is not nearly as blank or confusing as it feels to you. And when you think about it, that makes dogs even more impressive. They are living in the same house, walking through the same yard and staring into the same darkness as you. But they are picking up details your eyes simply cannot. So the next time your dog suddenly locks onto something outside at night, there is a good chance they are not imagining it. They may just be seeing far more than you can. Number 10. Dogs may spot ultraviolet clues you never notice. This is where things start to get really strange because your dog may be noticing visual clues that are completely invisible to you. Humans only see a small part of the light spectrum, but dogs may be able to pick up on ultraviolet details in ways we do not fully experience. That means certain marks, trails, stains, or patterns could stand out to them even when a surface looks perfectly normal to us. So when your dog keeps sniffing or staring at one very specific patch of carpet, one corner of the yard, or one spot on the wall, it may not be random at all. There could be a hidden clue there that your dog is picking up on through light, scent, or both. What looks plain and boring to you may actually be full of information to them. Their world is layered with details that humans are simply not tuned in enough to notice. That also helps explain why dogs sometimes become fascinated with things that seem completely unimportant. A path another animal took, an old stain you thought was gone, or a faint marking left behind by something outside could all be much more obvious to your dog than they are to you. To them, the world is not just what is sitting right out in the open. It is full of hidden signals. And once you realize that, your dog starts to seem less weird and a lot more impressive. They are not just wandering around sniffing random things for no reason. They may be following clues that you literally cannot see, which means your dog could be walking through a secret version of the world that is hiding in plain sight. Number 9. Dogs can sense your mood before you say a word. One of the strangest things about dogs is how often they seem to know how you feel before you have even spoken. You might walk into a room feeling upset, stressed, nervous, or tired, and somehow your dog already seems to get it. Some dogs come over quietly and sit beside you. Others stare at your face, follow you more closely, or suddenly act more gently than usual. It can feel almost spooky when it happens, especially when you have not given any obvious sign that anything is wrong. Part of that comes down to how closely dogs watch us. They notice tiny changes in your posture, the speed of your movements, the tone of your breathing, your facial expression, and even how you open a door or walk across the room. But it may go beyond that too. Dogs are also incredibly sensitive to scent, which means they may be picking up chemical changes in your body linked to stress, fear, excitement, or sadness, long before another human would notice anything at all. That is why dogs can sometimes react differently depending on the mood in the house. They may become clingy when someone is upset, restless when there is tension, or more playful and relaxed when everybody is happy. To your dog, emotions are not hidden as well as we think they are. Even when you are trying to act normal, your body may still be giving off little signals that your dog catches straight away. And honestly, this is one of the reasons so many people feel such a strong bond with their dog. It is not just that dogs live with us. It is that they seem deeply tuned into us. They are watching, listening, and sensing more than we realize, which is why they often feel less like a pet and more like a companion who somehow understands what kind of day you are having before you have even said a single word. Number 8. Dogs can sense when your body is changing. This one is especially fascinating because dogs do not just react to your mood. Sometimes they seem to pick up on physical changes in your body before you are even fully aware of them yourself. There are many stories of dogs acting differently around someone who is pregnant, sick, stressed, or just not quite right. And while dogs are not magical, their senses are so sharp that they may be noticing subtle body changes that humans completely miss. A lot of this likely comes down to scent. The human body is always giving off chemical signals, and when something changes, whether it is hormones, body temperature, blood sugar, illness, or even the way your skin smells, your dog may notice it straight away. That could be why some dogs suddenly become more protective, more clingy, or strangely focused on one person for what seems like no reason. To us, the person looks the same. To the dog, something has clearly changed. This is also why trained dogs can sometimes be used to help detect things like seizures, diabetic episodes, or certain medical conditions. They are not reading test results or doing anything supernatural. They are picking up tiny clues through smell, behavior, and routine that most people are not sensitive enough to catch. Even untrained family dogs sometimes seem to know when someone in the house is not feeling right, and that makes this one feel a little amazing and a little unsettling at the same time. Your dog may be noticing things about your body that you have not even noticed yet. So when a dog keeps hovering near someone, sniffing them more than usual, or refusing to leave their side, it may not just be random dog behavior. They could be reacting to a change your body is quietly giving away before your mind has even caught up. Number 7. Dogs can follow heat and warm spots in ways people miss. Dogs do not just rely on what they see and hear. They are also extremely aware of warmth and changes in temperature around them. That is one reason dogs always seem to know the warmest place in the house before anyone else does. A patch of sunlight on the floor, a blanket that still has your body heat in it, a warm seat you just got up from, or the coziest corner of the bed somehow gets claimed by the dog almost immediately. But this can go beyond just liking comfort. Dogs may also notice the heat coming off people and animals in ways that help them understand what is around them. Even when the room is dark or quiet, your dog may still be able to work out where someone is, where the warmest safe spot is, or which area feels different from the rest. That could be one reason some dogs seem drawn to a person who is unwell or keep lying against someone who feels warm. It also helps explain why dogs can look strangely smart when it comes to finding the best sleeping spot. They are not guessing. They are constantly taking in clues from the environment, and temperature is one more layer of information they can use. What feels like a random choice to you may actually be the result of your dog working out exactly where the comfort is. And once you think about that, a lot of dog behavior starts to make more sense. The way they move toward a sunny square on the carpet, curl up in the exact spot you were sitting, or settle next to one person and not another may not be random at all. Your dog could be quietly following warm signals around the house in a way you barely even notice. Number 6. Dogs can tell when a storm is coming before you can. Have you ever noticed your dog acting strangely before bad weather hits, even when the sky still looks normal? Some dogs become restless, clingy, nervous, or start pacing around the house long before the first drop of rain or crack of thunder arrives. To us, it can seem like they are reacting to nothing, but your dog may already be picking up on changes in the environment that you have not noticed yet. Dogs are much more sensitive than we are to shifts in sound, pressure, and even the feel of the air. They may hear distant thunder long before humans can, notice low vibrations traveling through the ground, or react to changes in air pressure that happen before a storm moves in. That means by the time you finally hear thunder or see dark clouds rolling in, your dog may have already known something was coming for quite a while. This is why some dogs seem uneasy well before storms, fireworks, or other loud weather events. It is not always just fear of the noise itself. Sometimes the buildup starts much earlier. The world around them begins to feel different, and because their senses are so sharp, they notice that shift straight away. What feels sudden to you may feel like a long warning to them. And honestly, this is one of those dog abilities that feels almost like a superpower, even though there is likely a real reason behind it. Your dog is not checking a weather app, but they may still know a storm is on the way before you do. So the next time your dog starts acting unsettled out of nowhere, it might be worth looking outside, because they could be sensing that the weather is about to change before the rest of us catch on. Number 5. Dogs may use the earth like a built-in compass. This one sounds almost too strange to be real, but there is real interest around the idea that dogs may be able to sense the Earth's magnetic field. In other words, your dog might have a kind of built-in compass that helps them understand direction in a way humans cannot. That could help explain some of the odd patterns dogs show, like circling before they settle down, lining themselves up a certain way, or seeming to know exactly where they are even in unfamiliar places. To us, the Earth's magnetic field is completely invisible. We cannot feel it, see it, or use it in daily life. But some researchers think certain animals, including dogs, may be more sensitive to it than we realize. That does not mean your dog is doing advanced navigation on purpose, like they are reading a map in their head. It just means they may be picking up on natural directional clues that help them feel more oriented in the world around them. That might be one reason some dogs are so good at finding their way home, even after getting lost, or why they sometimes seem weirdly particular about which direction they face when they finally stop moving. It can look random, but there may be more going on than people think. Dogs often do things that seem silly or pointless until you realize they could be following signals that humans do not even know are there. And that is what makes this so fascinating. Your dog may not just be reacting to what they can see, hear, and smell right in front of them. They may also be quietly connected to something much bigger, using the planet itself as one more hidden guide. So the next time your dog spins around a few times before settling in, they may not just be being fussy. They could be lining themselves up with a signal you will never feel. Number 4. Dogs can recognize people by sound from much farther away than you think. One of the strangest things about dogs is how they often seem to know someone is coming before there is any obvious reason they should. They may run to the door, lift their head, wag their tail, or suddenly become alert long before you hear a car pull in or footsteps come up the path. That is because dogs are incredibly good at recognizing sound patterns from far away, including things humans would never notice in time. Your dog may know the exact sound of your car engine, the way your shoes hit the ground, the click of the gate, or even the tiny rhythm of how one particular person walks. To us, those sounds can seem too far away or too ordinary to matter. But to a dog, they are full of information. It is not just noise, it is a signal that tells them exactly who is nearby and what is about to happen next. This is why dogs sometimes react very differently depending on who is coming. They may stay calm for one person, get excited for another, or bark when they hear a sound they do not recognize. They are not waiting until the person is right in front of them to work it out. In many cases, they have already figured it out long before anyone reaches the door. And when you think about it, that makes a lot of those "how did you know" moments feel less mysterious and more amazing. Your dog is not just hearing better than you. They are sorting through sounds, matching them to memory, and recognizing familiar people from much farther away than you would ever expect. So the next time your dog rushes to the door before you hear a thing, there is a good chance they already know exactly who is coming. Number 3. Dogs can smell time on objects and places. This one is especially wild to think about, because dogs may not just smell what has been somewhere. They may also have a sense of how long ago it was there. In other words, when your dog sniffs the floor, a tree, your shoes, or a spot in the yard, they may be picking up not just a scent, but a kind of timeline. A fresher smell can tell them something just happened, while a weaker, fading one may tell them it happened earlier. That means the world for a dog is not just full of smells, it is full of layers. One scent may be brand new, another may be hours old, and another may be from earlier in the day. While humans walk through a park and mostly just see grass, paths, and trees, a dog may be reading a moving story about who was there, what direction they went, how recently they passed through, and whether the trail is worth following. It also helps explain why dogs can become so locked in on one certain patch of ground, or one object that seems completely boring to us. To you, it is just a lamppost or a shoe or a corner of the backyard. To your dog, it could be packed with information. Another animal may have been there recently. A person may have passed through minutes ago. Something may have changed since the last time they checked. Their nose is doing far more work than we realize. And once you start looking at it that way, it completely changes how impressive your dog really is. They are not just sniffing for fun or being nosy for no reason. They may actually be reading time through scent, almost like the world is leaving invisible updates everywhere they go. So when your dog stops dead and becomes obsessed with smelling one exact spot, they may be catching up on a story your senses were never built to read. Number 2. Dogs may react to low vibrations and strange sounds humans never hear. This is where things start to feel a little creepy, because dogs are not just hearing more than we do in the usual way. They may also be reacting to low vibrations and strange sounds that humans barely notice or cannot hear at all. That could include distant thunder, deep rumbling, vibrations moving through the ground, or odd low-frequency noises from far away. So when a dog suddenly stops, stares, whines, or leaves the room for no clear reason, it may not be random at all. To us, a house can seem completely still and quiet, but your dog may be picking up on subtle movement in the environment that your ears were never designed to catch. A storm building in the distance, something heavy moving far away, a strange hum, or vibrations traveling through walls or floors may all stand out to them. That means your dog could be reacting to something real, even when you are standing there hearing absolutely nothing. This also helps explain why some dog behavior can feel so unsettling. A dog may suddenly bark into the dark, stare toward a corner, or act nervous in one part of the house when everything seems normal to you. Naturally, people start thinking something weird is going on, but often the simpler answer is that the dog is sensing sounds or vibrations that are completely outside your awareness. Their world is fuller, louder, and stranger than ours in ways we do not usually think about, and that is what makes this so fascinating. Your dog is moving through the same space as you, but experiencing layers of hidden sound and motion you will never fully pick up on. So before you assume your dog is just being dramatic, remember this. They may be reacting to a signal your body cannot hear, your ears cannot catch, and your brain cannot even register. Number 1. Dogs sometimes stare at nothing because they may be detecting something you can't. This is the one that creeps people out the most because almost every dog owner has seen it happen. Your dog is sitting there normally, then all of a sudden they stop, stare into one part of the room, look toward a hallway, or focus on a corner where there seems to be absolutely nothing there. No movement, no person, no sound that you can hear, and yet your dog looks completely locked in. It is the kind of moment that makes people instantly wonder if dogs are seeing something we cannot. In many cases, there probably is something there, just not something obvious to human senses. Your dog could be noticing a faint sound, a tiny movement, a hidden smell, a low vibration, shifting light, or some small environmental change that is completely escaping your attention. What feels like empty space to you may actually be full of little clues that your dog is picking up on all at once. That is part of what makes dogs so fascinating. They are not just living in our world, they are experiencing a much richer version of it. Of course, this is also why people sometimes jump straight to supernatural ideas. When a dog keeps staring at one exact spot, especially at night, it is easy to let your imagination run wild. And while there is no solid proof dogs are seeing ghosts or anything like that, their senses are so much sharper than ours that it really can seem that way. They may be reacting to something real, just something far too subtle for us to catch. So the next time your dog suddenly freezes and stares at nothing, you might want to think twice before brushing it off. Your dog may not be acting weird at all. They may simply be noticing one more hidden detail in a world that is far more active, layered, and mysterious than the one humans get to experience. And honestly, once you realize just how much dogs can see, hear, smell, and sense that we cannot, it makes them seem even more incredible. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you stick around, because there are plenty more strange and fascinating things doggies do that make a whole lot more sense once you know what is really going on.